Welcome. So today we're going to be doing brake job on my Chevy Avalanche 2013 Black Diamond Edition. The pads are just about done. I've caught the brakes just in time. I hear a little bit of squealing in the back, and the pads are definitely up front are definitely close to their minimum. So we are going to replace the pads, and also because I get a little bit of vibration when the brakes heat up, I'm going to replace the front rotors as well, assuming I can get the front rotor off. Those set screws are sometimes very difficult, so we'll see. This is my first brake job on a Chevy Avalanche. Even though I've owned this car since new, I've had others do these brakes. I'm just a DIY guy. I'm not a professional mechanic, and I've done brake jobs on a variety of different cars, but never on this car or Chevy 1500 series of any kind. So this is a first for me. If it's a first for you, then feel free to follow along and either amuse yourself at my mistakes or what have you. But let's get to it. First thing is to get the caliper off, and that requires a 19mm socket. Let's see if this small impact wrench will have what it takes. And the answer's no. So let's get a pry bar. Or breaker bar, as I should say. I'm trying to stay out of the way of the camera, but you guys are in the way. an inch too long. And just doing a quick visual inspection to see if I spot any other issues while I'm under here, and I don't see anything jumping out at me, so that's good. Well, these front pads aren't as bad as the rears, but we're into it now, so we're going to replace them. Now, is the bolt on the back side of this thing. It seems a little bit loose. That's a 19 millimeter. I wonder. Let's see if an SAE is a little bit tighter, because we have to get this bracket off in order to get the rotor off. No, that feels looser. Let's just try one size smaller. Nope. Let's try an 18 millimeter. Just to be sure. 18 millimeters nice and tight, so it's not 19, it's 18. Okay. So Well, if I had the other tires off, I might be able to turn the steering wheel in order to fit the big impact wrench, but I don't have the other wheel off. So I'm just going to continue on here. Well, there might be enough room for Big Bertha. The bottom one. Let's try it. Well, Big Bertha took care of the little one, no problem, at 18 millimeters. I'm curious, the smaller bolts, were they also 18 millimeter? No, they were definitely 19 millimeter. Oh, let me see if I can get Big Bertha in there. I doubt it. But it's worth a try. Nah, not quite. So there's a lesson learned. If you're going to do a front end brake job on both sides, take the tire off the other side so you can turn the steering knuckle. Actually, the wheels are off the ground. The wheels are off the ground. Oh yeah, I like that. Now we should be able to get a good purchase. There we go. I almost ate that. But, like they say, almost is not good enough. Alright. So we have to do a little bit of cleaning here. That looks like a Torx bit. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to squirt that with some PB Blaster while I clean up this bracket and get it ready for the new shoes and hardware. So I'll stop the video after I zap the PB Blaster on, and also I'm going to clean up the face of these pistons before I encourage them back into the caliper so that I don't run the risk of nicking or damaging the rubber boot on the pistons. So I'll be back as soon as I've got this stuff all cleaned up. Let's get the PB Blaster out. I know for fans of South Main Auto, I don't have the special effects It's not brake cleaner, that's coming later, but we'll let that soak for a little while I clean up this bracket. So I'm going to stop the video, do some cleaning, and then we'll be back when I try to take that Torx nut off. Okay, I'll be back. By the way, I am replacing the brake parts with all AC Delco parts, including the rotors are AC Delco, and that is the part number for the front brake kit. GM number 192-41581 or 17D as in Delta 1367, C as in Charles, H as in Harry. Okay, let's try and get this rotor off. Sorry about that. This, yep. Oh, good. Do I need to take that bolt off? I'm not sure. The answer is no. But it's rusted on, so we'll have to give it a few love taps. It's starting to move. There we go. Okay, let's get the rotor out of the way. Bit rusty. I should have expected that. Alright, let me stop the video again. I'm going to get some tools set up. Okay, let's clean up the rust. just in time for the battery to quit, eh? But looks okay. We still need to get in there, maybe with some Scotch-Brite in that radius. Get a little bit more of the rust off. Okay. Now, let's wash that off with some brake cleaner. Here's the Eric O moment from South Main Auto without the sound effect. Timer's going off. That's good. Okay. I do have fluid film. Let that dry off before putting any fluid film on it, and I'll be back in a minute or two. Okay, let's do some fluid film. Okay, we'll let that kind of settle, and we'll be back. Alright, it's time to put the clips in. Now, the box that the rotors came in has some instructions. The shaded areas are where they want you to put grease in the packet of grease that they have supplied. But we want to put some grease in other areas as well. So we're certainly going to follow these instructions. There's some fine print inside the box, and I'll read it to you. It says, machine rotors per manufacturer's instructions. Make sure the lathe is clean. Well, okay, we're not going to do that. We have brand new rotors. Although in the rear, we're not going to replace the rotors, at least not yet. After the finish cut has been completed, sand both sides. We will do that to the rear rotors. When sanding operation has been completed, wash the rotor. Of course, we'll do that with dishwashing soap and water. That's interesting. Do not clean the rotor with brake clean. That is a very interesting comment. Caliper sides and hardware should be thoroughly cleaned of dirt, rust, and grease. We've done that. Caliper sides and disc pad shims insulator should be given a thin film of silicone-based paste to ensure lubrication. Do not use a petroleum-based product or spray adhesive type product. Please make sure that the disc pads are tight in the caliper. When installing the wheels, make sure the lug nuts are torqued to the manufacturer's specifications, which is 140 foot-pounds for a Chevy Avalanche. So we've got that covered. So we are going to put these clips back in. This piece of paper I have lined up also came with that, showing two different types of clips, caliper system 1, caliper system 2, and we have caliper system 1. And what we're going to do here is, hopefully I can stay in the shot because I really can't see, but we are going to put some lube on this face surface. Not going to, it's not just a thin coat. Now, the reason that we're doing this, because there are no moving parts, the calipers are going to go up against these clips, which are going to seat inside this area here, which we've cleaned off. Why do I keep saying we? Which I've cleaned off got any rust out. I actually used navel jelly off camera because there was some pitting, and I wasn't about to try and grind these down and alter the geometry even by a few thousandths. So that's what I did to get at the pits. Probably not 100% effective, but it's better than nothing. Now the reason that we're doing this, as Eric O has explained himself in many of his own videos, is that we want to, as much as possible, prevent rust behind the clips so that rust, as it expands, will not press against the clips and bind the calipers. So that is the purpose behind putting this thin layer of grease on these surfaces, to try and prevent that from happening over the life of the brake pads. Because I'm looking at the truck. Oh, sorry. Get you guys. I'm sure that the truck will need another brake job in its future. Also, off camera, I've checked these pins to make sure that they're lubed, and they are, so no need for that again. Now, for some reason, which the instructions in the box doesn't explain, they have provided me with 2 sets of these clips, and I don't know why that is, but where does it go in like this? Nope. Yeah, goes in like this. There we go. that's a good seat. Now, okay, so what I'm going to do here, now these are stainless steel, and according to this diagram, the back of the shoe needs to be lubed and the clip needs to be lubed. We're going to do that, and we're going to use the lubrication that was provided to us in this little packet. Warning: may cause eye irritation. Do not get eyes, and you can't see, but I must confess right now I'm not wearing my eye protection, but I think that the risk here is very much minimal. So squeeze out some of this goo. There, 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 there. Okay, now looks to me like I'd like to more of this goo out. Okay. That's one side. And note the clip is on the inboard side. And now we have this one, and I don't know, we have enough of this goo. That's a decent amount. Seem to be a little bit short on that lube. We only got one packet, so this is brake lube. It's not petroleum based, so it's I'm not looking to goop it on, but I am looking to have confidence that we've got the backing and the sides. Accounted for here. Too much. Okay, that's that. Oh yeah, I looped them up already. I forgot. But it's not excessive amounts, so. Turn this around. Okay, that assembly is ready to go back in. Take a little bit of a chance here. Just wanna make sure we don't have grease on the pads. And that is ready to go back on. So we're almost there. All right, I'm going to move the camera over and get reset up and clean my bench off, and we'll be back with each other in a minute. Okay, let's get this rotor on. I think I'm gonna, hang on a second. I think I'll put on some gloves here. Be right back. All right. Let's do a little dab of anti-seize here. This one. Of course, now I got anti-seize on my gloves, which means it's going to go everywhere. Let's clean that off. Some paper towels. I'm not going to do this super tight. It's just to keep it in place. That's good. Okay. And next, our use that to hold it in place. And maybe I'm wrong, but I've had enough stuck bolt experiences, which are very frustrating for a do-it-yourselfer. So put a little anti-seize. Gloves are already ripped. Now, where did my gloves go? My regular gloves, here they are. My torn, hyper tough Walmart special work gloves. Hyper tough. All right, now we've got to push those pistons back in before we can get the caliper back on. And so, here is our caliper. I've already, while the camera was off, I cleaned up the surface, and maybe we'll put a very thin coat of lube on there too, even though there's already a thin coat of lube on the brake shoes. But anyway, to get these double pistons back, I'm going to use a C-clamp and one of the old brake pads. Those front brakes are only worn like halfway, but the rear brakes are worn all the way. You know, I can't help but wonder. When I last took this thing in for a brake job, did they actually change the rear brakes? Or did they just charge me? Now, I've already checked the level of the brake reservoir to make sure that by pushing these back I'm not going to cause the reservoir to overflow. So I know I'm covered there. And there's no need to rush this. Looks like they're both flush. Yeah, there's still plenty of meat on those shoes. I just recently rotated the tires, and that's when I took a close look at the shoes, and I know that the rear shoes are right up against the warning squealer tab doohickey thingo bob. But anyway. Okay, so now it's time to put the caliper back on and put the bolts in. I'm just giving it a once over here to make sure that I haven't forgotten anything, because I'm a forgetful person and I do have a tendency to forget. I did say I would put a little bit of lube on these cylinder faces, so let's do that. Just a thin coat. I don't know if you can hear it in the background, but somebody's shooting off in the distance. It's now getting towards the end of February 2019. I'm not sure if that's practice or if that's hunting. It's got to be practice. There are no gun ranges around here, outdoor anyway, that I'm aware of. Or maybe that's something else. A nail gun? It's awful loud for a nail gun. Anyway, so that's a little dab of anti-seize. Okay. Yep. Tighten the bolts up. Now I will check out what the proper torque setting is. I don't know what it is yet. I'll have to look it up. And I will torque those 4 nuts to their proper specification before I put the wheel back on. I was just looking at these ball joints to see if they are sealed or if they will accept if they have a Zerk. I don't see a Zerk, so I guess they're sealed. Now would be a nice time. But I guess not. Certainly don't look greased up. But maybe it's what it is. So that is doing a brake job on the driver's side front brakes of a Chevy Avalanche. We replaced the rotor, we replaced the brake pads, we cleaned up the mounting bracket, we lubed it, I believe properly, and before I put the tire back on I will torque up those nuts, or bolts rather, to their proper specification. And the tire will go back on, but before we do that I'm going to do the other side, and there's no real reason to videotape that since it is a duplicate of what we just went through, so it'll go faster for me if I don't have to kind of frequently stop and restart this video. And so that's what we're going to do, and then we have to do the rears. I don't know if I'm going to get to the rears today. I may have to wait until the next weekend, and when I do get to the rears I will videotape one of the rears as well for you guys and see if I can get any information on those ball joints, see if they're supposed to have grease in them or not, or there's some way to get grease in them that I'm not familiar with. We'll see. It doesn't look like it. Alright guys, that's it. I hope you got something out of this, if nothing else, the pure entertainment of it. As I said, I'm a DIY guy. This is my first attempt at a brake job on my 2013 Chevy Avalanche LS black diamond label truck. And hopefully I did it right, and I'm going to find out soon enough if I didn't, eh? Anyway, so I guess that's it. If you follow what I've done here, you do so at your own risk. Again, I'm not a professional mechanic, and if I did it wrong and you want to follow me and do it wrong, that's your problem, and I accept no responsibility for that at all. And I guess that's it. Thanks a lot for watching. See ya.